It's just like candy. It's the sweetest feeling. Old Gatekeeper here about 4:30 in the morning. Another candy painted blueberry. Six pill, 6 transistor ported box. Unregulated AB biased. And I have heard through the grapevine there is a post. Now you're going to have to get away from those wires, girl. Yeah. I ain't on the regulated supply. You get near those wires, we're going to have a problem. I ain't got no damn protection. She likes to get around here. Get on out here. You cannot get around those wires when I'm on unregulated supply. Sorry about that. Alright. There she goes. She knows what it is. Anyway, I've heard through the grapevine about a Facebook post about one of my AB bias builds. And I have not had, well, for quite a few months I wasn't even able to get on Facebook because they done shut me down again because of my name, and it took me a minute to get back up, but I hadn't had time to get back on there and take a look at the post and respond to it. But I don't know which box it's about. It's about some AB bias box, and I really don't even know the nature of the content. I just had 2 or 3 people tell me about it, so I'm gonna go check that out here soon. But Mr. Ranch 55, all I got to do say is patience. Thank you for your patience, brother. This bad boy was constructed by Mr. 73, and I actually got to put my hand in it just a little, not much, just to wire up a few things on the end there and tune it out. Mr. 073 done an absolutely magnificent job on this build. Was a little strapped for time on this build, but he still took his time, and that's why I like Mr. 073. You can put a gun to his head, man, that joker ain't gonna work no faster. He's gonna make sure that joker gets done right and the way he wants it to be done. Look at that custom hot buzz right there, man. He is definitely known for them custom hot buzzes. Got a good 12 gauge wire going down that strip too to stiffen that up a little bit to get that current all the way down there as good as it can. Alright, like I mentioned, this is a straight out unregulated AB bias at all times. There's your on and off. Here's your SSB delay, okay, and that's your transmit LED right there, which is a white LED. Alright, first off, I'm going to demonstrate the bias voltage sitting on all 6 transistors when this thing is keyed. To do that, I have to simulate a key and give the relay a ground. Don't laugh, it's just something I grabbed real quick I've been using. So I'm going to hold it over to this meter right here. And I'm basically just going to be simulating the key down here like this. Just like that, okay? .68 volts, man. Dead nuts on where I want it to be. .68 volts. That is where you want it to be for an AB biased amplifier. If it was a B biased, you would be pretty much about half that. Around .3, 4, .38, somewhere around there. I have not yet done a B bias yet. I do want to do one and play around with the B bias mode. You do get there are some pros and cons to every mode. Just like anything, you can't have the best of both worlds. Alright. I'm on the 200 amp unregulated supply over there. And the way that this thing is designed, it's going to work very well with it, but I still recommend this to be run on a regulated supply. I still recommend that as I recommend any AB bias box, and I don't have a regulated supply big enough at the moment, and I'm getting around to making one. Just be patient. Alright, I'm pretty much going to show you Mr. Ranch 55. I know what you're going to be using to drive this with, and you're not even going to be driving this nowhere near the max, man. This thing should last you forever. I personally, with being an unregulated AB bias supply, I would not want to put no more than about 100 watts into it, man. That's just me, you know, being careful. You're trying to stay linear too, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to stay linear, so you don't need all that excess drive when you're trying to be linear. But I will hook up the 2-pill and burp it with the 2-pill before the video's over. But we're going to be using the 1-pill as a driver. And before we do anything, I'm going to show you the input reflect, so I won't forget that before I change over to the hot radio. Alright. We ain't going to get much out of it hitting it with the 4-watt radio. Ooh, see about 180 bird. There's your transmit light, by the way. Here's your input reflect, 10-watt slug. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to press pause, and I'm going to go ahead and get this driver hooked up, and I'll be back. Alrighty, and before I forget, Mr. Ranch 55, I know we're doing the custom, actually first person ever asked me to do this, but the custom label for you that says Ranch 55 that I'm going to be putting across here. Because of time constraints, I'm getting this out to you by a certain date. I may have to mail that to you, bud. It just is what it is. You know, I got to get that done from a certain place uptown, and they're a little backed up. So we'll see if we can get it before we have to ship this thing out Monday to you. Alrighty, we are on the driver, the epoxy 1-pill. My first build I ever done was held together by mostly epoxy glue. Back before I knew how to solder. Alright, we're on 14.6 volts on the driver. This is what we're going to be driving into the 6-pill. 1000-watt slug. We're looking at the bottom scale, okay? Ooh, yeah, that's about 50 RMS, 40 or 50 RMS. Your peak. Ooh, right there about dead nuts on 100 PEP. Alright, like I said, we're only going to be hitting it with a 1-pill right now. Here's the float volts right here for that supply, the 200 ampere, okay? This thing sucks that 100 down to nothing. Alright, let's get our dead key right, because you got to remember, man, this thing's a true unregulated AB biased amplifier, so it's pulling a lot more current than a regular Class C is going to be doing. Alright, see, we're dead keying close to 3. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit if I can. Or actually, you know what, I ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to have to hold both of these in one hand. We'll just roll with it. But I would, you know, if I was about to run this, I would turn that dead key down just a bit, probably around 150 watts to 200 at the most, somewhere around there, you know. You can go a little higher if you feel safe, but it's an AB biased amp, man, you know. It's running a little different. Probably going to be running on sideband more than anything. All right, 1000-watt slug. This is 50 RMS drive. Ooh, it's right there about 525 RMS. Ooh, about 550. Voltage drop on that is 15.6 volts. Okay, and of course the peak's going to be in the corner. All right, just sitting where it's at, and we'll take a look at the peak. I usually wait till the end to show the peak when I'm on, you know, the bigger driver, but I mean, I really don't even need to hook that 2-pill up, man. I mean, this is really close right now to 600 watts RMS, just hitting it with a 1-pill. You know what I mean? I mean, that's pretty good gain out of this amplifier. These portage don't play, man. These port boxes do not play. Shout out to Stickman. All right, here we go. PEP, we're on the 2500 watt slug. So we're looking at the top scale up here. Where that 10 is, that's 1,000. Come on, man. So we're a little over 1,200 watts. Probably close to 1,250. Trying to creep up to around 1,300 watts. Like I said, that right there is where I would run this amp. Me, myself. That's right there where I would run it on sideband. And I know what you're going to be running it with. I believe the radio that you're... You know, I can't remember which radio it is off the top of my head. But I do remember when we talked that, you know, it wasn't going to be driving the box to its max, nowhere near its max. And you know, I was like, man, that thing will last forever like that. I want to say that it's a radio possibly with 4 MOSFETs in it, if I remember correctly. Maybe a radio that's doing around 80 watts, I think. I don't know. I can't quite remember. It's hard for me to remember it all. But, alright. Well, basically what I'm going to do now, man, is I'm going to go ahead and hook up the 2-pill driver. Okay, we're just going to burp it with it. As I call it, burp it. That is an old audiophile term back in the... it's an old audio competition term when you burp your subs during a competition. Alright, I'm going to press pause. We're going to hook up 2 1446s. And they're AB biased too. Yeah. Alrighty. This is a serious burp. I do not recommend driving this into this box. I will repeat that again, okay? This is my dual 1446 unregulated AB bias driver right here. A little preamp in there, man. Shoved all that in one box. I need to put a dang fan in there and get it looking presentable. I think what it is, we keep taking them cases off and putting them on other boxes so I don't have to re-drill another hole. I need to just go ahead and make it presentable, don't I? Alright. Well, I've got the variable turned up to where it's dead keying about 200. I'm just going to show you what what this is going to be putting in an RMS. Ooh. Ooh. So now we've moved from about 40 to 50 watts RMS over to about 80 watts RMS. And you know that's going to be peaking over 200 watts. Ooh. Yeah, see it's right there about 240. About 240 watts. So yeah. Quite a bit of drive for this box being AB bias unregulated. But furthermore, take a look at this what this bad boy is swinging. Ooh. Wait. Ooh. That's 700 watts, no problem at all, man. Bump that up just a tad bit more. It'll do 800. Ooh. God almighty, man. Whew. Sucker working like an 8-pill, man. Joker tried to go about 850. Now to show you, man, these transistors got gain. You put more volts to them, man, and well, excuse me, volts, yeah, but more watts to them, they're going to increase RMS, but they're going to have a cutoff too. You'll see the RMS will quit increasing, and then the peak will start increasing. At that point, that's just straight out harmonic splatter. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's put the peak in, and we'll do that real quick, and then we'll put the top on this thing. Let you see it with the top on. All right, 2,500 watt slug. Sure, we'll be doing over 1,500 now. The 10 right there at the top, that's 1,000 watts. Come on, man. Ooh. That's right there about 1,800 watts. 1,750, 1,800 watts. That right there is a successful 6-pill build, and these port style 6-pills do not play. That's all I got to say about that. I ain't bragging, I'm just saying impressive. I was sold a long time ago. And they'll do even more now, and I can make it do over $2,000. I can make them, but you know, it ain't what it's about. I always remember you got to double your output to have a noticeable difference on the other end. Gaining 400 or 500 watts ain't doing nothing but making more heat. All right, I'm gonna go get the top on this thing and put it on it and let you see it with the top on. We'll be back. Alrighty, man, here you go. Got that blue on blue. Starting to be a pretty good hit. Wipe some of that dust off there. It's just been floating around the garage out here. It's beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. That's my favorite color, and it's been my whole life. You're gonna enjoy this box, Mr. Ranch 55. I appreciate your patience, man. One of the next builds coming up is going to be a very special build that I've been working on for a little while now. And the reason why it's special is because it's for a special individual. One of the top 5, shall I say, fellows that I've ever met during this thing. And he knows who he is. He's been waiting for a good little while too, man. That joker's been patient. And definitely done a lot for me. Definitely done a lot for me. It's going to be a real nice Gatekeeper 4-pill. And we're going to be rocking with some regulated AB on that one. No temp tracking, nothing that far, you know, but it will be regulated AB. My first regulated AB yet. Alright, let me get this power supply turned off before I turn this box around, and I'll let you take a look at the backup before we stop. Alright, brother, well, there's the back. The heck? What's in that? That's a dang bug, man. Trying to think, it sounds like a boat propeller. But anyway. I can't wait to get out of here, man. God, I can't wait. It's been a long time coming, y'all. I think I've earned to get out of here. Well, anyway. There she is. Got your remote jack there, man, if you ever want to put a wired remote or a Y-mote, wireless remote. Got your 2 stiff forward. I went ahead and soldered them up for you. I like to always do that. Plus, it makes my clamps grab onto them a lot easier with the type of clamps I use. So you can take that bad boy right there and put it straight into an Anderson 175. Man, you're already tinned up. I'm going to be making a video on that too. I've seen a lot of people putting their things in the Anderson 175s, you know, Anderson connectors, and not actually giving time for the wire to completely mold to the solder in the Anderson connector. I pulled them out before, and the wires were pretty much just sitting and kind of frozen in the solder instead of being bonded to it. And I made the same mistake when I first started off. Some good wire, man. This wire is very thick. One of the thickest strands wire on the market. Come on now. This thing could focus better, you know. There you go. Colossus Flex Cable by ConNewConcepts.com. 2,058 strands of OFC. Best cable you can pretty much get, man. If it ain't OFC, it's junk. Not what we need, at least. It's a beautiful box, man. I think I'm just going to keep it and head to Mexico. That sounds like a good idea. I'm sorry, Ranch. I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and head to Mexico with this box, dude. You know, I know you're a good guy and all, man, but I might just have to keep this one for myself, bud. I apologize. Ooh, boy, you tracked me down on that, wouldn't you, Ranch? That joker out there lives out there on a ranch, too, boy. That joker will track me down. You better give me my candy painted 6-pill, cotton picker. God bless you, Ranch 55, man. I appreciate your patience, man. And y'all always remember, if the bird watch is there, the PEP will follow. But just because the PEP is there doesn't always mean that the bird is there too. You want me to give a small example of that real quick before I head out? I had a 2-driving 8 one time, man. It was doing 1,400 watts, 1,500 watts PEP. When I finally put that joker on the birds, doing about 250 watts RMS. For that whole 4 or 5 months I was running that dang box, I was running no more than a 2-pill, pretty much. So all that peak was all spurious emissions, splattered harmonics, call it what you want, that's what it was. And there was not much of that at all, making it on frequency. I also had something similar happen with a Mako 750 that was doing 1,200, 1,400. Well, hold on. It was doing 12 to 1,500 watts, whichever radio I was using at the time. 100 bird. 100 watts RMS, that's all it was doing. 100 watts RMS. I'm sitting here thinking I'm a big cotton picker out there. You know, this right when I first got started with this. I thought I was a big joker out there doing 14. You know, I was actually doing 1,500 watts, but hitting it with this one particular radio. 100 bird, man. 100 watts. Running pretty much a strong 1-pill. Or a mediocre 2-pill. All right, we'll see you. God bless 73rds. Shout out to 073, Ranch 55. Hey, Mr. Black.